I am Zainal Arifin Fuad from Indonesian Peasant Union, member of the Via Campesina working group on land territories of the International Planning Committee for Food Sovereignty and also the CSIPM. I have statement and also question actually for President Government. I thank you for giving me an opportunity intervention in this panel. Now we are in time of multiple crises and existential danger for peace and humanity, hunger crisis, climate and ecosystem crisis, biodiversity crisis, economic and social crisis, and geopolitical crisis. Here I take the key point of the report of the state of food security and nutrition in all the world SOFI 2024, that the world is still far off track to achieve sustainable development goals, number 2, and zero hunger, with the global prevalence of undernourishment persisting at nearly at the same level for 3 consecutive years after COVID. And the number of hunger you already mentioned, Ms. Moderator, in the previous session. The 5 driving factors of this situation identified by SOFI's report are closely linked to the interconnected trends and land and common grabbing, increasing land concentration, land market or land bank, large-scale chemical agriculture, liberalization of trade and investment policies that prioritize global commodity production and extractive industry. Those have dispossessed peasant rural communities and indigenous people, and also have massively contributed to climate change, biodiversity loss, and ecosystem destruction. In recent years, false solutions to climate change and ecological destruction, such as carbon market, 30 conservation target, biodiversity offsets, and even using genetic engineering as climate-smart agriculture seeds instead of agroecology as peasant agriculture, which is killing the planet. Those have become an important threat for the right to land and territories of rural people and indigenous peoples. The food system of small-scale food producers, such as peasants, smallholder farmers, small-scale fisheries, pastoralists, forest dwellers, youth and rural women, indigenous people, and mountain farmers, especially those implementing agroecology, are critical for feeding the world while acting as steward of land, territories, and ecosystem, contributing to reducing greenhouse gas emissions, climate change, adaptation and mitigation, and biodiversity protection. However, this food system depends on the access to and control or ownership of land, fisheries, forests, and other natural resources. Based on this situation, it is good and positive sign that the CFS 52 and FAO Council have endorsed Colombia's proposal for second International Conference on Agrarian Reform and Rural Development, or ICARD, in February 2026. With agrarian reform and redistribution land policies, it is possible to produce more, but also to produce more diverse and better quality products in a more sustainable manner. In this way, it is possible to dynamize rural economies and ensure abundant jobs for the youth of our countries, and to lift them out of poverty. There is also interconnection between ICARD, the global island of against hunger and poverty, initiated by Brazil, and also the United Nations Decade of Family Farming, and this topic and this panel. Redistribution land policies are a key contribution to current food and ecological crisis, as evidenced by a 2024 report by the UN High Commissioner for Human Rights, which explicitly call on the state to implement agrarian reform, measures that promote more equitable land and resource distribution, in line with the human rights obligation, including the rights of indigenous people, peasant and rural communities, and the context of human rights-based climate policies. Hence, ICARD plus 20 is also linked to FGGT, UNDROP, UNDRIP, and SHADOW. It should be a promote and support participatory multi-sectoral national public policy processes that respond to territorial realities, taking into account the diversity of historical and social cultural contexts. Question: how can the ICARD, question to Brazil government, how can the ICARD plus 20 be a space of convergence to tackle the interconnected food and environmental crisis, and how to ensure that the result of the conference will be fed back to the CFS, FAO, and the Rio Convention. And how will Brazil make sure that the climate COP30 can contribute to a successful ICAR Plus 20 and the Global Alliance Against Poverty and Hunger, which put the issue of land distribution at the heart of the human rights-based approach. Thank you, Mr. Chair.